With the 27th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Missouri defensive tackle Darius Robinson. So while this video is for my Mizzou fans, so I can talk about the fact that Darius Robinson went in the first round and how that's great for the program and the University of Missouri. Hopefully Arizona Cardinals fans can find this and get a lot from it too, because I'm going to talk a lot about the player and the person that Darius Robinson is. I think this was a really good landing spot for Darius Robinson. I'm just extremely happy to see him go in the first round. I believed he was a first round talent throughout this entire process, and obviously the Arizona Cardinals felt the same way. And even if the Arizona Cardinals didn't take Darius Robinson, I still feel like there was a good chance that he was going to get taken in the first round. But I'm also pretty happy because I made a bet with a friend of mine that he would be a first round pick. But after he was invited to the green room for draft night, I thought that was a pretty good indicator that he'd be taken in the first round. And then, of course, the Cardinals picked him up tonight. But for my Cardinals fans listening to this video, let me just tell you that you got a really good player. And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on the Arizona Cardinals' needs, but if you needed a defensive lineman, if you needed pass rush, Darius Robinson is certainly your guy, because his biggest trait, his best trait, is his inside-outside versatility. So his first couple years at Mizzou, he played defensive tackle, and then his junior year, he started to play a little bit more on the outside, and then his senior year, the coaches finally said, hey, do you think you can make the transition to defensive end? And he went for it, and it ended up working out really well for him. He had 8.5 sacks last year. He was an all-SEC selection. And what I really love about his play is that he's just a big guy. He's got a great frame. I said when he was coming out of high school, and, I take pride in the fact that I've gotten to know Darius Robinson over the years. I've exchanged words with him a few times. We follow each other on social media. But when he signed with the University of Missouri out of high school, I said, this guy is going to make the NFL. He has the frame of Aldon Smith. And you see that now. I mean, he's the kind of guy where he gets off the bus, you can tell that he's one of the best players on the team. He's got broad shoulders, big frame. He's very physically imposing. And he's got a great bull rush. He can really overwhelm offensive tackles with his bull rush. He's got the strength, the length, the power to be able to bull rush guys consistently. And even though his RAS scores may not indicate that he's a guy that could play full-time edge, most teams, I don't think, were projecting him as a full-time edge. This is definitely a hybrid 1 through 9 tech defensive lineman, and he's going to be able to give interior offensive linemen trouble because he's a little bit too quick and a little bit too athletic for those guys. And then he's going to give offensive tackles trouble, in my opinion, because of the sheer size and power. Now, he's not the bendiest guy in the world. He's a little bit stiffer in the hips, but I think he'll be okay because he's not a full-time defensive end. He's a hybrid player. And so it's not like this is a guy that you're going to be relying on to play edge every single week. A good comparison for him would be like Charles Omenihu of the Kansas City Chiefs, or kind of a mini Chris Jones. Chris Jones, the Chiefs kind of use him in the same way that I see the Arizona Cardinals using Darius Robinson, a guy that's going to probably start on the inside, but he's going to get moved out to the edge occasionally to take advantage of mismatches and to throw off the offense. But Charles Omenihu is a really good comparison because he's a guy that plays a lot of inside for the Chiefs, played a lot of inside for the 49ers before coming over to the Chiefs, and he kind of kills two birds with one stone, and that's what makes Darius Robinson such a great value pick at the end of the first round for a team like the Arizona Cardinals, who's just trying to rebuild and build the most talented, the best possible roster at this point in time. Darius Robinson and Marvin Harrison Jr. is a great haul coming out of the first round for you. I mean, this is a guy that was one of the best pass rushers in the SEC, the best conference in college football. He absolutely dominated the competition at the Senior Bowl. He went up against some of the best offensive tackles in this year's class and absolutely embarrassed them at the Senior Bowl. If you guys have not seen Darius Robinson Senior Bowl tape, you need to go look at it because it's going to make you feel a lot better if you're someone that's kind of on the fence about this pick. Not to mention, he's a really good run defender, and that's why I think he's going to be able to get on the field early, and he has a really high floor as a player because he can come in and defend the run. he's going to draw some double teams because of how big he is. And, I don't know if he'll ever become an elite defensive end in the NFL, but he's going to be a guy that has a very long NFL career, a guy that gives you 6 to 10 sacks every single year. And he's going to give you the absolute most. He's going to give you everything he has. And that's a great transition into talking about the type of person Darius Robinson is. He was a leader for that Mizzou team this year. 11 wins, Cotton Bowl championship. Last year was kind of disappointing for them. They went 6-6 and, lost a lot of close games. Darius Robinson decided to come back for one more year, was really a strong vocal leader for that team. He was a Scholar Athlete of the Year. For Mizzou's final home game, he wore the name of the school on the back of his jersey instead of his own last name. That's how much he embraced the state of Missouri, despite not being from there. He's from Michigan. He grew up a Michigan fan, and he chose Mizzou over Michigan out of high school. He was once committed to Michigan, and his first couple years he really struggled with injuries, but he just kept fighting and eventually became the senior leader for a really, really good Missouri team. And if you just listen to him talk, man, you're just going to fall in love with him if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan. And he's going to fall in love with you guys as well. He's going to fall in love with Arizona. That's just the type of guy he is. And if you've ever heard his story before, he did an interview with Gabe DeArmond of Power Mizzou, who covers college athletics for the University of Missouri. And he talked about how if he didn't play football, and he didn't start playing football till later in high school, but he said that if he didn't play football and didn't get offered college scholarships, that he would have joined the military. And it takes a lot of guts to do something like that, to make that kind of decision. And again, just speaks to the type of guy that Darius Robinson is. So at the very least, Darius Robinson is going to be a great character guy, great locker room guy for the Arizona Cardinals organization. And I definitely think they need a little bit of that. They need some direction inside that organization. I think Darius Robinson will provide that for them. I think he'll be a strong anchor for that Arizona defense within the next couple of years. And I just think this is a very safe pick for the Arizona Cardinals. So hopefully Cardinals fans were able to get something out of that. I think you guys will really enjoy Darius Robinson. Take care of him. He's going to be a real good, solid pass rusher, guy that can defend the run. Not super athletic if you're projecting him as a full-time starting defensive end, but if you look at him for what he is, which is a hybrid defensive lineman that can rush inside and out and has sufficient athleticism on the interior and can expose mismatches on the outside, you'll be pretty happy with him. He's got a good, strong bull rush, and he's got pretty good technique, which again is why I think he's a high floor player, a guy that it will contribute heavily in year one, is because, he makes up for his lack of athleticism in a lot of areas with technique and power. So I think you guys will really like him. As far as the Mizzou implications, man, it's great to have another first-round pick for representing the Missouri Tigers. You know that Darius Robinson bleeds black and gold. And it's just great for the program. It's great for Eli Drinkwitz to say that he put out a first-round pick. And that's really when your program starts to take off, is when you start putting guys in the draft, start cranking out draft picks, and not just, a couple guys every year that are in the third or fourth round. I'm talking like getting 6 or 7 players drafted with multiple going in the top 100. And it looks like that's what's going to happen this year, starting with Darius Robinson at the end of the first round. Great publicity for Mizzou. You saw on the broadcast, Eli Drinkwitz was there. The emotions of Darius Robinson. The broadcast talked about the great season that Missouri had, the job that Eli Drinkwitz did, and they beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. That's great exposure, and just happy for Darius Robinson, man, especially, kind of knowing him on a personal level. It's just, it's amazing to see a guy like that have this sort of success, to come in as a 3-star recruit out of high school and then work his tail off to become a first-round NFL draft pick. Just an amazing story. And he's a Detroit kid who gets drafted out of the green room in Detroit. The draft is in Detroit, and he's from the area. Just a dream come true for him. Super stoked for Darius Robinson. But yeah, guys, that's all I got to say. Just want to hop on and talk about him since I was super happy for him, excited for him, and hopefully some Arizona Cardinals fans find this video and are able to take some stuff from it, because again, I think you guys will really like Darius Robinson. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more people can find this, and make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com for more. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.